Welcome back to AutoLooks Autopod. I'm your host, as always, the doctor to the car, Mr. Everett J himself. And this week, we're going to take a look at a brand new technology that's being developed in Canada to move our oil. AutoLooks.net Autopod, streaming day or night, coming right at you, right here, right now. Welcome back to AutoLooks Autopod. I'm your host, Everett J. Keep following our Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, YouTube, Podbeam, iTunes, Pinterest, and take a look over at www.autolooks.net for all your up-to-date facts on corporate websites, new ratings, and of course, the Autopod from AutoLooks. This week, we're taking a look at something new, something great that actually came out early 2019. Well, we've been having lots of problems in Canada trying to get our oil to marketplace. We have issues with protesters in British Columbia. We have issues with the province of Quebec not allowing pipelines to cross their province to get our oil to the East Coast. And we're also having issues trying to build damn pipelines into the States so we can get our hard crude down to the refineries on the Gulf Coast as well. Well, CN Rail, Canadian National Rail Corporation, one of the biggest rail companies out there, decided to team up with a bunch of engineers and scientists from Calgary. They wanted to find a way that they can move oil via railways. Well, it'll help boost their income. It gets more trains on the track, more cars moving, and more jobs moving. Right now, CN and CP are unloading tons of people. They had their strike just before Christmas, and they're actually unloading tons of people. Any early retirement or retirement people, they're hoping to get rid of because they're going to shed thousands of jobs across North America. It's just sad to say for all those people that are about to lose their jobs, and sad to say for the rail industry. But CN and these people have been working on this thing. I'm going to post this link here to these bitumen pucks. It's a pilot plant that they're trying out, and they're going to see if they can make these things. These pucks are basically our heavy crude covered in a wax film, where if it falls out of the tanker container that it is in, derailment, which we all know, if you don't know about, just look back. There's a massive gas explosion in Quebec a few years back because of rail cars. And you constantly hear about oil spills and chemical spills when trains jump off the tracks. Well, these bitumen pucks that they are working on would make it so much easier. Why? They're more environmentally friendly if a spill happens. These things, we've actually seen these things, pretty neat. You can take them and you can put them in water. And unlike the Exxon Valdez, they won't spread the oil everywhere. No, they just float on the surface. So when the cleaning people come by, they can just go through and just like pulling dirt off, skimming the top of your pool. The same thing. They can just skim these things off and away we go. Now, that's the theory behind it. They're still in the feasibility stage looking at can they make these things and will they 100% work? Because that's the thing. They have to be 100%. And if they do, well, it's good news for us. Good news for the States. We can now ship our stuff. But like I said, we're still having issues. Because if they won't allow pipelines, the same people are going to try and protest and fight the trains for bringing these things. Even though they're environmentally friendly. You got to think about it. People protesting these things are the same people that are driving there in gas guzzling vehicles and using oil-based products in their shoes and clothing as well. You have to remember, if you're going to protest something, you have to protest it 100% correctly. If there's a spot of oil on you, you're supporting the industry. These pucks, I'm not promoting the oil industry, and I feel that we need to move away from fossil fuels into alternative fuels such as fuel cell and electric. But until the day happens, we still need to keep powering our vehicles with fossil fuel sources. But moving these things through CN will help ease pipeline congestion. It'll bring down the ability and the construction costs of building these brand new pipelines and the timeline it takes. You gotta think about it. If you can compress these things into a puck format that doesn't spread oil when there's a derailment, you can move tanker loads of these things from Fort McMurray, Alberta, all the way down to Texas. It just means more rail moving. Yes, there's more likelihood that there is going to be a spill, but at least then, if the spill happens, it's not going to cause an environmental catastrophe. Using existing infrastructure that's here right now, instead of spending billions of dollars on brand new pipelines, and because the rail system's already there, you can move that stuff along it, because you're already allowed to move nuclear waste, highly volatile chemicals, and oil across rail services in every part of North America. But what else can this do? This can help increase jobs in Alberta, put a stop to BC and the Canadian government dragging their feet on the pipelines, and it can help increase the price of Alberta crude oil. Good. Yet it doesn't do anything for us trying to get away from fossil fuels, but you have to remember, oil products aren't just used for gasoline. It can be used for many other things. And slowly moving away from it, you can use the tax dollars from the bitumen being pushed through in these pucks to other places around the world to pay for more environmentally friendly products. Yes, it's like paying yourself with stolen money, but it happens everywhere. Now, this is something that needs to be looked at and needs to have more investment into. Because now with the pressure in the Middle East of what's going on, North America is going to be looking for a way to get heavy crude in. And Canada and Mexico are the only places here that have heavy crude, because shale oil is lighter crude than the heavy stuff that we pull out of the oil sands or out of the Gulf near Mexico. So North America still needs the heavy crude for the oil refineries in Texas. So they still need stuff like these pucks. And when you break these things down, it just dissipates because it's a wax film. When you throw it in there, you melt that stuff off, you can capture it in a recycle system, and away you go. So Alberta, we are looking at ways we can help get your product out there to keep us going until the infrastructure for our electric cars and our fuel cell products come out. Because let's just face it, the future is going to be a multi-use power source. It's not just going to be all about electric, no matter what you think of. And these pucks, even if you can get this stuff moving, we still are going to need to start pushing our alternative energy vehicles. So all in all, when you take a look at it, to develop a technology like this is amazing. It's something that needs to be done because pipelines are expensive to make, expensive to maintain, and when there's spills, there's major environmental implications. If you can manage to compress the oil-based products into a puck format that does not cause an environmental hazard and move it along an existing infrastructure, it is a massive win-win. It is just like electric cars having supercharger stations set up. It is an infrastructure that is already in place. You're just overutilizing it. You're not maxing it out. You're just utilizing it to the max benefit. So really, does this technology need to go out? Does this technology need to help us? It does. Alberta needs to get its oil out there, and the Americans need to get our heavy crude. So in the end, it's a win-win for both sides of the nation. So all in all, this is Everett from AutoLooks, letting you know that Alberta has tons of oil, the third largest oil reserves in the world after Saudi Arabia and Venezuela. And if we can't get that product out to the masses, when the pipelines get shut down elsewhere in the world, or actually our pipelines get shut down, what choice do we have? It's just a bunch of gold sitting that we can't do anything with. Finding a way to move it is the best answer for the entire industry as a whole. This is Everett from AutoLooks.net saying keep following our Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, Pinterest, YouTube, Podbean, iTunes, and at www.autolooks.net for all your up-to-date facts about moving oil and the future of alternative fuels for our power sources of vehicles, houses, and everything else around the world. So strap yourself in for this one fun, wild ride from AutoLooks.net.